Hi friends, it's James and welcome back to my channel. So the Apple Watch SE came out last year in September along with the Series 6. I've had the SE now for a couple of months and I'm going to be giving you my complete honest review of it as well as what the unboxing experience was like. I'm going to leave a list of timestamps here on the screen so you can jump to sections that interest you the most, or you can watch the whole video, either's fine with me. So then, let's just jump straight in.
Okay, so I've got the box here, I've got the watch inside, and just right off the bat, it just feels so premium. It's the Apple Classic, it just feels amazing. And you've got this nice pull tab where you can just pull to unbox it. Let's give that a go. Anyway, listen to this. Oh no, I failed that. There we go. It's the sound, it's incredible. I mean, I must admit, it's kind of part of my favourite unboxing. But anyway, let's go ahead and open it. So if we turn it over, I'm covering this bit up because it's got the serial number on. But as you can see here, just to open it, you literally just pull each side and it pops out so nicely. Ready? Oh, there we go. And then we can just fold it open. Look how beautiful it looks. And so yeah, we get the actual watch bit itself along with the power adapter, and then you get the bands. And I believe, to my understanding, there are two types of bands here, medium and large. Okay, I'll put this to the side. So we've got the watch and we've got the bands. Let's do the bands first. And look here, we've got the nice, again, classic way of Apple opening. Just pull a simple tab and then you peel them back. Let's have a go at this. Oh, here we go. And then we pull it out. It just looks so good as well. So if we open it up. Okay, yeah, so these are the bands, the two sizes, medium and large. And then you've got the clip clasp bit. And it just gives you some information about how to set it up and connect it to the watch. So let's put that to the side. And now let's have a look at this. So this is the actual watch. So it looks so good. It feels so good. Just one thing to notice, actually, is that in previous models, this was actually like fabric, but now it's just paper. I mean, that doesn't matter. I mean, to be fair, this is actually probably more environmentally friendly. So, yeah, we've got the watch, and then what have we got here? We've just got the basic info about how to set it up. And then we've got the charging brick. So yeah, and let's peel this off. Oh, look at that. It looks and feels so good.
So what sizes do the Apple Watch come in? Well, there's a 40mm version and a 44mm version. And this refers to like the size of the screen, the size of the body. I went ahead and got the 44mm version. And let me explain why. I always believed that you should go for the bigger one, the 44mm version. I've got a really small wrist, but the 44mm version still fits perfectly on it. And I just personally feel that the 40mm version is just too small for a screen size on your arm. But that's just more of a personal opinion. But yeah, so I always feel that you should go for the 44mm version. As the screen size, you wouldn't think there's much of a difference, but you can really tell. But in terms of the actual make of the screen and the body, it's just a default premium Apple quality. As in, you literally can't beat it, it's so good. However, actually, maybe if you do have like a really small wrist, I recommend try one out before you finalise your purchase on which size to get. But yes, as I was saying previously, try and go for the 44mm version, as the screen it's just so much better as it's bigger. But if you can't, then the 40mm version will still be fine. So what power is this tiny little machine packing? Well then, so it's got last year's watch's internal components. So it's got the S5 chip, which was in the Series 5 watch, and as well as that, it's got the W3 wireless chip, which was also in the last year's Series 5 model. So yes, the SE doesn't actually have the latest chip and wireless chip, which the Series 6 does. However, I'm going to be perfectly honest, I can't actually tell a difference, as in it's still so quick to navigate around the apps. And trust me, if you've got one, you'll feel the same, as in literally that next processor, that next chip, I don't think you can really tell a difference, as in the S5 is still perfectly good. But it does have some cool other things that the S5 doesn't have. It's now got a compass built into it, as well as an altimeter. So in terms of the hardware, when you're buying your watch, you have two options that you can choose from. You can either get a watch with just GPS, or with GPS and cellular. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Anyway, so yes, so back to what I was saying. So you have those two options, GPS or GPS and cellular. GPS comes on both of them, and the cellular one just comes with the other one. And yeah, so GPS and cellular one is of course going to be more expensive. And what that enables, that option essentially allows your watch to connect to a mobile network. So like, you know how your phone connects to, I don't know, whatever your provider is to get like data and phone calls. Essentially your watch could do that. So essentially your watch is acting like your phone in a sense. However, when I purchased mine, I just went for the GPS option because I didn't need my watch to connect to a mobile network because I always have my phone around me, so my watch could just connect to that and go through my phone. So yeah, in terms of the mic and speakers, they're both really good. The mic's able to really clearly understand you even when you're in a really noisy environment. The speakers also sound really good. However, I haven't actually really used them because I haven't found any use cases where I need to use the speakers on my watch. The watch is also waterproof up to 50 meters, so you can go like swimming in a swimming pool with it. Bear in mind that you can't actually take it in the sea because the salt in the sea will just cause damage to it, and yeah. This watch, of course, also has a heart rate sensor, which is always measuring your heart rate. However, one thing to take into mind is that it doesn't have the blood oxygen sensor or the EPG reader that the Series 6 and the Series 5 have. So if that's something you're looking into, then you definitely want to go for the Series 6. So my last point in terms of hardware, in terms of the specs, this one's a big one. The SE doesn't come with an always-on display, whereas the Series 6 and Series 5 did, or does because they still are available to buy. Anyway, so yeah, what I was saying. So it doesn't come with an always-on display. And well, there's pros and there's cons to this. I'm going to be honest, I personally don't really need an always-on display. Yes, it is useful because you only need to glance down to see it, whereas if you don't have the always-on display like I do, you have to make a more visible action of turning your watch to activate it. But yes, there are some big advantages because you could, as I said before, you only need to glance down to see the time. But it wasn't a main selling point for me, as in I wasn't too bothered whether or not to get it or not. As in, I decided I wanted to save the extra money because just for a feature where you need to just see the time without having to visibly move your arm wasn't that appealing to me. But if it is to you, then you might want to look into the Series 6 or go back and get a Series 5. So, watch bands. Apple's now introduced this new feature on their website where you get a lot more customizability over what your band looks like. But when I purchased mine, I just went for the plain space grey band, and personally I'm just a massive fan of this. However, if you're just not a fan of any of the Apple bands, then you can purchase other third-party bands from like places like Amazon or other tech stores. But so in terms of the bands, I actually change my band between what I'm doing. So when I'm exercising, I will most likely wear this band, just the space grey one that comes with the watch when I bought it. But during the day, I normally wear a metal sort of band. But so I have to change these bands out basically every day just for what I'm doing. And I just find the process of changing the band is really hard. It may just be me, it probably is just me, but I've just found it really hard to switch it out between bands. So I'm going to try and find a band that I like for both everyday use and as well as exercising, because I find it quite hard just to switch between the two every day. Battery life, arguably one of the most important features about the watch. How many hours do you get out of it before you have to charge it? Well then, so this is from my experience. I only ever charge my watch once every 2 days. And each day I do about an hour of exercise. A bit more sometimes depending on the day, hour, 2 hours of exercise. But anyway, around that sort of time frame. But yeah, so when I'm exercising, I'm using the GPS that's built into the watch, and as well as like the heart rate sensor. And so from what I've experienced, that only uses up about 5% of battery. And I'm gonna be honest, I was utterly blown away by this. 5% for an hour to 2 hours worth of exercise where it's continuously using GPS and a heart rate sensor. I honestly, that was incredible when I found this out. So yes, it lasts me about 2 days. And I wear my watch from about 8:30 in the morning to about 11:30 at night. So that's about like 12, 14 hours a day. And so on the days where I do have to charge it, I charge it at around 10 PM, as Apple recommends that you get into a routine of charging your watch at similar times each time you charge it, because then your watch gets used to when you do it and it helps prolong the battery. But also another thing to take into consideration is because it doesn't have the always on display, it actually has more battery life than the Series 6 and the Series 5, which is really cool. But yeah, overall the battery life is just incredible on this watch. The user interface. I literally have nothing negative to say about it. I absolutely love the design of like the Apple's honeycomb app layout, and it's just also so self-explanatory to use. It's all so easy. It's just honestly, it's amazingly laid out. I honestly can't get over. I love the interface. As in, there's absolutely nothing negative I can say about it. The watch faces are also something now you're going to be seeing a lot of during the day, because that's the first thing you see when you look at your watch. But what are the watch faces like? Because arguably you're going to be seeing that the most out of everything on your watch, because it's the first thing that you see when you look at it. And well, I'm going to be honest, I love them. I love the customizability of them. As in my current watch face, it's got everything. It's got my calendar, the weather, the time in other countries, the rain. It's just, I just love the customizability. But if you don't like those like complex sort of watch faces, Apple's have also got those clean, minimalistic ones. But even if you don't like any of those, you can set your own wallpapers, watch faces from photos. Or Apple are now even allowing third-party apps more control over watch faces. But also, as well as that, Apple, every major OS release a new watch face. So recently they released this new cool fluidy sort of watch face. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But yes, the watch faces, I love them, and I'm sure you will too. Price. How much does it cost to get an SE? Well then, the 40mm version of the SE comes in at £249, and the 44mm version comes in at £299. And that's just for the GPS versions. If you go for the cellular version, that's an extra 50, I believe. However, don't quote me on that. But I honestly think this is a great price, a great entry price for a smartwatch. Especially for all the features that you get out of this watch. It's honestly a great price. So, in conclusion, am I going to be recommending the SE, the Apple Watch SE? Well, yes, absolutely. It's an utterly incredible watch, especially for the price. You just get so many features for a considerably low price compared to other watches. However, if you're looking to get a watch that has always on display because you don't really like the idea of having to continuously turn your wrist to see the time, and you just want to be able to like quickly glance down and see the time, Well then, I'd recommend you get the Series 6 or you find a second-hand like Series 5 because Apple aren't actually officially selling Series 5s anymore. But this also applies if you want to utilise the EPG sensors and the oxygen sensors, the blood oxygen sensors, because the SE also doesn't come with that, as I said. So the only watch that Apple offer that have the blood oxygen sensor is the 6. So I'd recommend you get that if you're looking into using that sensor. But the Series 5 has an EPG sensor if that's what you're looking at. But that brings us to the end of this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do consider subscribing. And while you're down there, please do smash the like button. Anyway, I'll catch you on my next video. See ya!